Hello and welcome to the Monday message. I'm here with Jason. Jason and I have gone through missionary training together down at Family Missions Company in Louisiana. And Jason and his family have been in Costa Rica and then have been in Colorado. And Jason's here visiting. So Jason and I were just talking and had a really interesting conversation that I thought was worth sharing with you. So Jason, I'll let you talk a little bit.
So a lot of our ministry, our family's ministry, is centered around the idea that God wants us to find value in everything that He gives us. He wants us to see the value in the gifts that He gives us, both spiritual and physical.
Yes.
He wants us to see value in the people that He puts in front of us, in every person, not just the people who agree with us, right?
Yes.
And that fits a lot in with our family's kind of idea, and we tend to live a lot by the encyclical Laudato Si, which a lot of people throw that out. It's a green encyclical. It's not. It's an encyclical that asks us to find value in whatever we're doing.
Which is beautiful.
Yes.
Yes.
And I just had this revelation this morning, and this is what I wanted to share, is that, so I'm staying at a hotel here in town, and this morning I went down for breakfast to get a to-go breakfast so I could bring it to my room. I have to eat it in my room. And the lady just asked me if I wanted to have some utensils, some plastic utensils. I said, no, I've got it. I've got some in my room already, so I don't need those. And she just kind of looks at me and, okay, put them back. Very simple little thing. I didn't think anything of it. But when I got back to my room, I was reminded of Saint Therese of Lisieux's little ways.
Yes. Yeah.
The little ways of living, the little acts of kindness, the little things that you do that make a difference, right? And it was just like, I just did one of those, right? She hit me with that. And that's really what it is. It's not these, like, we like to think of these grand projects. We like to think of these grand, like, incentives to evangelize the world or to, like, save the environment with all these solar panels. And those can be great and those can be awesome. And those are what some people need to do. But a lot of times what the Lord is asking us is these little ways, these little things. Just finding value that I already have something there. I don't need another one. Because if I just take another one, it's going to go in the trash. Right?
Yes.
I don't need to be throwing away things that God gives me. I don't need to be throwing away people that God puts in front of me. I don't need to be throwing away the creatures that He gives us, whatever that is. Food, companionship, whatever it is. We don't need to be throwing things away that God gives us. We need to find value.
Right. Or even the little opportunities. So I think that's the other thing we were talking about is this little way applies environmentally to our actions, but also spiritually and through our evangelism to others. Mm-hmm. Like it's wonderful to bring somebody to Jesus, but maybe that little step today is just being a smile, or letting somebody know where our joy comes from or where our hope lies.
Yeah.
So it's both spiritually and physically. Absolutely. Here in the physical world.
Maybe it's just that little act of kindness that you do for someone that makes them feel that humanity values them and that they are loved. That's beautiful. Maybe it's today not being aggressive in your driving and just being kind and waiting for someone to pass.
Yeah.
And not responding with a honk. I don't know.
With that intentionality, especially with the intentionality that I'm showing love because God has shown love to me. I'm letting that light of God's love shine through me into others' lives through little ways, right? Like just this little thing of driving and being kind, or helping somebody reach something at the grocery store, whatever God puts in front of you that day. And God will put things in front of you. That's the interesting thing, I think, too. Once we are open to seeing it, God gives us opportunities for both physical things to work on, environmental things, and spiritual things in other people's lives every day.
Yeah, and He wants us to love one another as He loved us. think that was the message
Yes.
from this weekend. And there are so many things that we can do that are simple to do that. I also found, I listened to a podcast this past weekend, and it was a missionary that she was in a college campus, and she had had an experience with street missions in Denver, Colorado. There's a missionary organization that does street missions with the homeless, right?
Awesome.
So she had a bit of a conversion, and she came back to her campus, and she was like, well, how can I keep that going, right? And at this time where college campuses are so closed down, they don't even go to classes anymore, which is for practical restrictions, right? But there is still a poverty of encounter. There's a poverty of some people don't ever hear someone say to them, hello,
Yeah. Yeah.
I value you.
Yeah.
And so she actually took it upon herself to just go out on the street and just say hello to people.
Yes.
Just as you're passing by, just hello. You can't see a smile, but you can at least say hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a value in that. That's a little way. I love it. So
Yeah.
go out and say hello to someone today.
Yes.
Someone that you don't know. Just randomly, act of kindness to a stranger. Say hello to someone today. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Jason, for joining us.
Well, thank
and
you.
We keep you and your family in our prayers for your discernment and God's guidance. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Andy. Hello.